Good to see all of you on our streaming show. I'm Stephanie Simmons here with Jacob Rascone, who just got back today from Kerr County.
Yeah, it was. Every time you go to one of these big natural disasters, you have to learn again and be reminded. And the people there let you know that it's okay, that you have two things. You have the tragedy, you talk about it, you mourn, they weep, and they laugh, and they have gratitude, and they have joy. They love being together. They love seeing the outpouring of support. They love knowing that their brothers and sisters and neighbors, some of whom they didn't know that well,
right,
are now, they'll never be separated. You know, they're lifelong together, the connections that they make. So they allow themselves both things. And that, I don't know why I need to be surprised, but you're there, they're crying, talking about what they remember from the day. And then they're sitting there laughing and making jokes and hugging so tight and saying thank you. And it's so sincere. And they're doing all of it at once, you know, and it's just nonstop. And to me, it's a beautiful thing that you know, we're able to move forward, you know, with the mission of searching and cleaning and all of that.
It's humanity at its finest, and it really is, during a tragedy like this, a roller coaster of emotion for those people who are there and directly impacted especially, but also for the journalists to be in the middle of all this, share the very difficult stories, but also on the positive side, the wonderful stories of survival.
Yeah, and we're looking at the images of the cleanup. You cannot like overstate how extensive the cleanup is going to have to be, with like tens of thousands of trees, the chainsaws, the cleanup crews, the construction crews, and then of course the search that's going to, who knows how long that's going to last. Jalissa Garca, when I left Kerr County, went to Kerr County, joining us live now, I believe from Ingram still. So tell us, Jalissa, for those who are waking up just now, you stumbled upon an example of some of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, Jacob and Steph, that's right. You know, we arrived in Ingram yesterday morning, and when we got here, we went straight to this area. It's by Riverside RV Park, and a lot of the folks that are here have been in Kerr County for decades, and they know each other well, or they know the people that end up buying the homes and passing on to the next generations. But one of the biggest things I want to point out is when we share these videos and these pictures with our viewers, and for some of us like myself, while I'm home in Houston and I'm watching with everyone while at work, it's gut-wrenching. It's devastating. It's difficult to see it. But when you see it in person, it's an entirely different picture, and you're almost at a loss for words. But one thing I will say is the people here are so resilient, so tough, so kind, letting us come into their homes, trusting us to share their stories and share with us what they're going through. As I mentioned, if you were with us during the 6 o'clock hour, the home I was showing you guys where, you know, a family's been working to clean everything up. Thankfully, they're all okay. I said, the owner, he was just arriving, and he was, and we talked, and he's been combing through different family items, salvaging things for his family members. And he says, you've got to keep going. And that once again shows the resiliency of this community, as Jacob has seen it, as Amanda has seen it, as Orko has seen it. And now I have been able to see it firsthand. And again, it's gut-wrenching, it's difficult, but meeting these people is something that sticks with you. And it is why so many of us do what we do, because these cameras, these images can connect all of us. As Steph said, it's humanity at its finest. But again, I want to give you another just clear picture. The Guadalupe River is back there. Jacob, you mentioned all of the trees, the time it's going to take to clean it all up. Now, the Guadalupe is always over there, but to know that the water reached all the way to where we are standing right now, past where our photojournalist John King is, and beyond that, just to really let that sink in, Steph and Jacob, it is unimaginable what happened here, the lives lost and the damage left behind and the hurt that so many people here are feeling.
And Jalissa, you have covered yourself tragedies in the past, and you just arrived there yesterday, so I know you haven't had much time to speak with people, but in the time you've been there, has anything surprised you that you saw or maybe heard?
Yeah, Steph, growing up in Houston, I'm no stranger to hurricanes. I've rode out several hurricanes with my mom, my dad, and my brother, and that's been tough. I helped with Hurricane Ida at our sister station in Louisiana. I've covered an EF3 tornado in Little Rock, but seeing this damage, I've seen nothing like it. And to know it's to my home state of Texas, to the Hill Country, where so many of us have beautiful memories, where you escape to celebrate weddings and birthdays, to float the Frio, to be along the river. It's just unimaginable to see it. I don't think I have any words. And as us who talk for a living, not having the words is something I don't think I would have ever thought I'd say, especially on air.
Can you tell us, Jalissa, today what it is that you're looking for as you go out and, of course, you're going to be gathering, you're going to be looking for people, but you probably have in your mind, having watched from afar and then now being there, what is it that you would like to see out there and like to tell us about and the stories there?
I think it's just the people, Jacob. We know that this recovery process is going to take a long time, but the resiliency is really what's important to share and introduce the faces of those who are affected, who are impacted, especially, here in the community of Ingram. I know we have a lot of people in the ground in Kerrville and Hunt as well, but just introducing our viewers to more people here in the Ingram community, who thankfully so many were able to evacuate on time. And they tell me it's a credit to the Ingram Volunteer Fire Department, but just hoping to meet more people and hopefully have them trust us to share their stories, because we know it's difficult to tell your story to others, but more so to tell it in front of a camera. I mean, that's difficult. These are some of their darkest days, and we're thankful for anybody who's willing to speak with us and share those stories. And even when they're not, we're still thankful that they take a moment during a difficult time to just talk to us. At the end of the day, the camera work, the stories we do, it connects people, and it reminds us that no matter what, we're all humans and we're all just doing our best.
It's so true, Jalissa. And you know what? When we have platforms like this, linear television, streaming, social media, if we as journalists can help one person by sharing their stories, then somebody else, millions of people can see that, and then they say, hey, I can help with this, that, and the other. That's what we're here to do. Jalissa, thank you so much, and we will see you again in just a few minutes.
Can I give one quick example of that? I think it was Amanda, actually, who did this story, and the family gave them the GoFundMe link, because they needed help with the funerals. And $250,000 was raised, originating with Amanda doing that story because of people who saw and said, you know what, just like you said, I can do something to help. And now I think they have 4 funerals total. They'll be covered. They would rather have their people, obviously, but because of the story and because of the people watching, they were able to help.
That's another angle of this, these unexpected funerals, and they are very expensive. It's very difficult to try to find the help when they're dealing with so much emotionally. So we are so happy to share things like that. We certainly are. Well, this morning, as these search and rescue efforts now stretch into the 7th day, we know so many families continue to deal with unimaginable grief following the deadly Hill Country floods.
Many of those families we now know are right here in the Houston area. With that part of the story, Ugotchi Aola is joining us live from the newsroom. So, Ugotchi, over your shoulder are actually the photos of the victims specifically from the Houston area.
Yes, that's correct. Jacob and Steph, you see them here. The lives, the 23 lives, the faces of the 23 lives lost, sadly, to the Texas Hill Country floods. I mean, the list goes on. Mary Grace Baker, Joyce Baden, Greta Toronzo. I mean, and what really hits home is also the fact that some of these victims were so young. We're talking about children here. But I want you to take a look. This is one of the victims we're highlighting as well this morning. This is 21-year-old Reese Manchaca. She was a 2022 Caney Creek High School graduate, and she was among those swept away in last week's deadly Hill Country floods. And just yesterday, she was escorted back home to Montgomery County. And the community turned out to line the streets in her honor. You can see them all there. Close family friends of hers say Reese was known for her bright spirit and her bold style and her kind heart.
You always knew when Reese was in the building because she stood out because she was exactly who she was.
She just was very loved by a lot of people.
Yeah, and in Reese's memories, family, friends launched a t-shirt fundraiser called Forever Reese. You can see it there. They say that 100% of the proceeds are going to support her family. Now, I wanted to also stress that local officials did confirm it was nearly 24 from our area, the Houston area, surrounding areas, so 23 to be exact, did die in those floods in the Hill Country. So again, another look at their faces here. But coming up at 8, I'll tell you more about local victims of the Hill Country floods and how the community is rallying behind them. Live in the newsroom, Ugotchi Aola, KHOU 11 News.
Ugotchi, thank you. When we were there, Ugotchi, we met so many people who were from Houston, like they'd grown up here and they were retiring there, and others who said that they knew of people from Houston who sent their family members. And so we were bracing. We knew that eventually we would learn that some of the victims were from the Houston area. Yeah. And, you know,
You
no
see
matter,
them here.
Yeah, and there they are right there. Right. And you know, we know you'll have more coming up at 8 o'clock. All right, we're making it easy here for anyone who wants to help out the people in the Hill Country. KHU 11's teaming up with our sister stations across Texas, raising money for Tegna Texas Flood Relief Fund. We've already raised tens of thousands of dollars. You can scan that QR code on your screen if you want to help. All of the money goes directly to local nonprofits in the areas hit the hardest by the flooding. We'll also host a live telethon tonight from 4 to 7 o'clock. Volunteers will be ready to take your call and help guide you on how you can make a donation that you feel good about.